Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending this lecture. Mark Twain once said, "During the gold rush, it's a good time to be in the pick and shovel business." This lecture is about identifying the pick and shovel businesses of the AI revolution. 92% of Fortune 500 companies use OpenAI products. 88% of global organizations use AI in at least one business function. Management information systems is the study of how people, processes, organizations interact with each other to form business trends. As an MIS student, I am particularly interested in seeing how these components work together to form these trends, especially in the age of AI. It's important to understand these trends to identify tools that we can use to optimize how we perform daily tasks. As a student, employee, and ultimately a contributor of society, I'm using technology and applications that are becoming more AI oriented every single day. Today, I'm going to show you who is set up to succeed in the AI revolution. I'm going to reveal to you the current state of the AI stack, the strategies of key players, and the strategy of key players, the vision for AI, and the potential risks. Artificial intelligence is built on the AI stack. In his blog, Jensen Huang describes the AI stack as a 5-layered cake. This consists of energy, chips, infrastructure, models, and applications. AI is not possible without the models and LLMs. This includes tools such as OpenAI, not OpenAI, but ChatGPT from OpenAI and Claude by Anthropic. These tools are built on the infrastructure from Microsoft, Google, and Amazon cloud services. And those services are built on and powered from the databases that are powered from NVIDIA and AMD chips. These companies working together is what fuels our obsession and revolution of AI. This collaboration makes it so we can make tools that no longer produce pre-recorded responses and can synthesize unstructured data in real time to generate intelligence. This has caused unprecedented demand for AI and ultimately dramatic spending. Companies are being poured into for developing products or are being heavily compensated for the hardware and services that make that development possible. The vision for the AI revolution is only possible due to the products that power the intelligence. A key example of this is NVIDIA. NVIDIA owns most of the chip market share. NVIDIA currently accounts for 80 to 90% of the AI accelerator market. This is because of NVIDIA's CUDA ecosystem, their full stack platform, and the priority of manufacturers such as TSMC. They accumulated this market share because they capitalized on a unique opportunity. NVIDIA has been in the business of supplying chips with their CUDA software, which happens to be one of the best environments to develop AI. But the thing is, they've been doing this since 2006, nearly 2 decades before the AI revolution. They were the only ones who could meet the demand when these models came around, and so they're the only ones who could provide at the scope that was being demanded, and naturally that gave them manufacturing priority and nearly all of the chip market for AI. However, in the long term, this is not sustainable. This will allow companies like AMD, within the chip layer, but even outside of the chip layer, infrastructure companies have also identified and addressed this opportunity. According to Trace Cohen's article, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are starting to make their own chips to escape NVIDIA's 70% plus GPU gross margins, lower cost per token by 30 to 40% on pseudo workloads, and reduce reliance on single supplier they cannot get enough from. They cannot buy enough from. This concept is commonly coined as vertical integration. By participating in using the strategy of vertical integration, these companies are not just renting compute anymore. They're creating chips that are more suitable for their current services, while cutting out the supplier cut, and they're no longer facing the production restrictions of relying on a single supplier. But this vision, this success is not without the investment in the model and application layers. And AI, and their vision for AI, is much different between the model and application layers, as each of these companies have different visions for what AI can and should be for the world. TheNews.com claims that the ultimate goal of the AI race is superintelligence, with companies like Meta spending $115 to $135 billion in the superintelligence unit in 2026, while Microsoft partnered with OpenAI to work on humanist superintelligence that will solve medical and clean energy challenges. So there's a lot of gray area around what AI can and will be for our future. Many companies have different ideas of ways to incorporate AI into old products, identify opportunities to create new ones, and how to balance this innovation with real costs. Regardless of approach, it is inevitable for AI to dramatically reshape how the world thinks, learns, works, and performs routine tasks. And early adaptation to these products have brought warranted optimism, as there's truly endless possibilities for our future. But while long-term growth is seemingly inevitable, this does not necessarily translate to smooth sailing in the short term. Heavy investments in artificial intelligence certainly do not come without the risks. Yahoo Finance claims that OpenAI will lose $14 billion in 2026 and $44 billion before projected profitability in 2029. So companies like OpenAI are the companies that are producing the tools, the remarkable tools that kind of defined what we think of AI to be. But this does not come without extreme costs, and they still haven't found a way to become profitable. This has reasonably led to fears regarding the AI bubble, which has been caused from hype and early expectations, distorting what the actual return on investments are going to be. According to KKR.com, history shows that technological revolutions often overshoot in the short term, but compound in the long term. AI build-out isn't a bubble. It's the backbone of the next industrial revolution. So, in terms of technical revolutions, bubbles are not a new concept. In the last 2 decades, we've experienced the railroad revolution, electrification, PC microcomputer, fiber, and dot-com revolutions that all happen to be bubbles, and they all follow the same progression and arc. We start with the froth, the shakeout, and then eventually the long run, which has led to success for all these revolutions. Right now, we're in the froth stage as we're experiencing a lot of major companies over investing, and eventually we're going to have a shakeout. This shakeout is going to be detrimental to companies that are extremely leveraged and quite frankly don't have the collateral to survive short-term adversity, which will lead to organizational dissolution, and enough of these will lead to a market recession. But it is important to note that in the long run, all of these bubbles still led to technological revolutions that profoundly changed and redefined our world. To conclude, companies like OpenAI and Meta will continue to push their vision and optimism to fuel their projects. They're going to continue to inflate investor expectations while also exercising little caution in spending. While companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are profiting off of renting compute, custom chips, and investing in optimizing processes and systems that will put them in a great situation to capitalize on growing demand. These assets and investments will retain value regardless of the models and applications pulling back on investment, because those are tangible assets that will hold their value. These are the companies that are the pick and shovel companies in the gold rush opportunity that is the AI revolution, and they will continue to be rewarded as long as AI adaptation continues, which it will. Today, I informed you on how and who is going to win in the AI revolution. I shared with you the current state of the AI stack and how the companies within the layers work together. I shared about the key strategies of the key players using strategies such as vertical integration to succeed in the long run. I explored the subjectivity of the vision for AI and shared the belief that it will truly reshape our world. I share the potential dangers of overspending early on, despite enormous potential, and explained how companies in the infrastructure level that are continuing to gain control within the AI stack are the ones who are going to win in the long run. With the AI revolution, AI will continue to become more and more a part of our lives. And just like the gold rush, those who make it rich in the AI revolution will be the ones that identify the real gold rush opportunity is selling the picks and shovels to the miners that constantly need tools.